became an extremely expensive claim. And here, one of the things that you have to be concerned about is that when you're going to start doing an inside of a house, we have to know what kind of tools we're going to use. Believe it or not, there's tools in my profession, and we have them right here. Let me just grab, this is my packet that I've always taken around with me wherever I've gone.
Mark, don't forget also you got to bring a police report too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when you're going to be doing that, you want to have a police report. Very important, because you need that documentation. Even if it's just your own words over again, you need to have it down so that you can then give it to the insurance adjuster. In here we have measuring tape. Okay. This is also called a seam finder also when you're looking for seams on a carpet every 12 feet. This is one we have. This is the one that most people have no idea that what I'm talking about when they look at it. It's called a chem sponge. Now a chem sponge is actually for taking chemical smoke off of walls, and you'll use it and actually swipe it and it'll actually clean an actual wall. You can buy these at Home Depot. I'm not trying to promote Home Depot, but Home Depot has it. I haven't seen it at Lowe's. They may have it, I don't know. But this is actually $3, $4. You'll see it in the paint department. Very important to have, because what you may not think you have damage, but you do. A camera. Need to have a camera. And a digital camera is the best way to go. If you don't have a digital camera, you can actually take it with a regular camera. You can take it to Walmart. Again, I'm not trying to promote any particular company, but Walmart, you can actually take it there and they'll make it into a digital format for you, and then they can send it to us and we can deal with it that way. Also, you can also buy little throwaway digital cameras, as they have now throwaway digital cameras. You can actually get them as well. Another thing that's really helpful, flashlight, because sometimes you just can't see just properly without it, and even sometimes even a bigger light, just depending upon what you're looking at. And not least of the things, a lighter. Now you're saying, what in the world do you want a lighter for? No, we're not creating a fire for a claim. Actually, what you do is when you light the lighter and you put it next to a glass, it'll show you multiple images to telling you how many panes of glass is actually in that window or in that door, because some doors have multiple glasses too. So a lighter can be very, very important. Remember when we were talking about the ridge vent and where water would come in? Well, this would be that area that water would have come in, and we would have seen it right along the top there all the way across. Now when we're in here, we would look around for different types of water stains, but directly right over the top, that's where we would have been seeing the claim. Now, the reason why we're going up to the attic right now is because that's the first place where water would have come in, would have been up in the attic. So let's go there right now. Now, we want to go up into the attic. A lot of times they have these little stairs that you can come up to, and be careful with these things. There we go. Now, flashlight. Thanks. Now, a lot of times I'll go up into an attic, and even just with my camera, with the flash, I can sometimes see up in the attic where I normally wouldn't have been able to see just by taking a flash in an area and looking at it. That's been helpful too. When you go up in an attic, one of the things you want to be concerned about is that, remember we were talking about snow load. We're going to look for those cracked rafters. Where do you think the rafter would be cracked? On the top, the bottom, or the middle?
I think in the middle.
And the middle is right, because that's where it's most vulnerable to actually crack. This particular house happens to have 2x8s, so the odds of this cracking were not that slim. Right, yeah, very slim. But a lot of times I only have 2x6s, and I've actually seen houses, believe it or not, with 2x4s. It's hard to believe that they do have it, but I've seen it. Old-time houses that hadn't been upgraded. Okay. So that's where you're going to look. Also, the other thing is you want to look for water stains anywhere along the sides. Now, going up an attic is very dangerous. So if you don't have actually plywood up there or something, or some kind of decking to stand on, I advise you not to go past the opening. You go up in the opening, look around, but not to go past it. There's no need or no reason for you to accidentally go through the roof and create another claim. You've had somebody that you even know that actually, in fact, Todd had done that one. He was actually trying to find out and minimize the damage in his house. Actually fell through his foot fell through the ceiling. So it's very important not to do that. And he actually did that before I got a chance to talk to him about it. So I'm telling you right now, don't go on inside the attic unless there's some kind of decking for you to stand on. And when you get up here, it's really kind of warm, so don't stay up here too long. Okay, great. Now let me show you what we're doing. Now, what I want to do is show you a little panning of the attic so that you can actually see what we're talking about. The rafters, so that you can see the rafters. You can probably see some vents up there. You'll see that like it's very hot, so you've got to be very careful. You don't want to do this in a really hot summer day and stay up there for a long time. See the insulation. You have insulation that's on some side walls. You have insulation that's down on the floor, on the joists. All that has to be looked at to see if there's any kind of, if you smell any moldy or mustiness smell up there, that's also going to be very important. That means that we've had some water that's actually come in. And remember, that can be dangerous. Okay, we're in a bedroom right now. What's important about bedrooms is that, especially in the ones that are on the top floor. Now here we have a vaulted ceiling. But what you would want to do is you'd first want to find out about a puffback. Puffback, I was telling you about before, is when a heater system would shoot fuel, misfire, and then bam, hit it, and then it starts putting soot all throughout the house. This house happens to be actually a heat pump, so we wouldn't have that scenario. But to show you what you would do, you would just go, and especially on the ceiling, and you would just do a single swipe. And if you'll see the finest amount of gray that would change. That means that fine film is throughout the whole house. When you're looking at the ceiling, sometimes you can actually see the joists that are actually going up and across the room, and that's because there's actually been a puffback. Sometimes you can actually see spider webs. They've turned black. That also would mean a puffback. Now most houses have spider webs and they don't think about it, and sometimes they're gray, but when they're black, that means that you've had smoke damage, and it's usually because of a furnace or some kind of scenario that way. Also, remember, we're looking at water stains. We're going to be looking at all the outside of the room, especially over there next to the glass and near the windows, and look underneath the windows for different water that's coming down there. Carpet. You know, if you come into a room, and let's say this is not even your house. Let's say you're an executor in this, and you have a house, and you're looking at the floors, and you say, well, you know, why in the world did they put a rug here? And it just doesn't seem right. So lift up things that don't look like they're in the right place, because a lot of times you might find out that they spilled bleach on the carpet or something like that, or something, you know, some major thing happened. Now, if you have damage for carpet, things that comes from animals, that's not going to be covered. But anything that's not from an animal, like bleach or blood or something like that, that also would be covered. One of the things that you also look at is like things on a wall. You may have, like right now you have 4 nice beautiful pictures right there. But what happens if one picture was just kind of out of place, just to make sense? People like to hide mistakes, things that happen. You got to make sure that you're concerned about that. And here, if you notice, the paint is the exact same color on the ceiling that it is on the walls. And a lot of times you'll find out that you may have like white walls, and you don't think that the ceiling is the same color. It is a lot of times, because what ends up happening is the ceiling reflects the color that they'll find on the floor, and it changes its actual color. So if you had a red carpet, it would then reflect on the ceiling, and the ceiling would seem to take a little bit more of a red hue on it. So the best way to find out if it's exactly the right color is to take a big, strong light, not even a flashlight, and shine that up on there, and you'll see that it's definitely all one color. That's basically what you would find in a room. You got to make sure that there's no holes in the walls, that there's no water stains. When you see a water stain, it's going to look like almost like you took a cauliflower and you cut it in half. A lot of times it's going to have this kind of effect on it. Sometimes you'll see little drips coming down. If you're in a smoker's house, or if you're a smoker, it'll definitely, because the film of your normal smoke is on the walls, and it'll actually make these little orange drip marks all the way down. That's really important. That'll show you that you've actually had water damage in the house. Now, what I want to do is we're going to start showing you how to measure, and what we're going to do is really simple. It's not hard at all. Now we're going to do the sidewalls first. Now, if you're by yourself, there's one way of doing it. If you're not by yourself, if you've got a friend, you can easily go like this, and boom, this is 12 feet. Now, we're going to show you another way to do that. The exact same way. Just say John wasn't here. So we just take the tape measure, we go all the way down, and we just go like this. And it just automatically goes like this. Come over. Don't forget that you have to add at least another ½ inch to an inch because of the molding down below. Bam, we got 12 again, 12 foot. Now, okay, so we're going to go all the way over there, and we're going to get the length. And we've got, I would say it's 17 and a half. 17 and a half.